First of all, I'd like to thank you for the service you are rendering and 8 years of being a Prime Minister. Can you assist a homeless Namibian employee who passed matric for quite long in 1993, which is Cape education, but is still faced with the unemployment problem? I sometimes get embarrassed by some of the employers when I apply for posts, advertised whenever available, by telling me that my certificate is, however, not working in a new system, for it is said to have expired. They sometimes convert symbols to points, but find that I have 26 points. Without considering the years back, I passed them. I therefore tried my luck in applying to other higher institutions. Fortunately enough, I was accepted, but due to the fact that my field of study chosen did not suit my needs for it, I finally discontinued myself. For the first year of study, I had no problems and then did well after an exam. The second year of learning looked so tough, so the discontinuation came in. So, now what must I do for me to have a better and a brighter future? Because I'm still fresh in mind and very intelligent and competitive. Could I look for other institutions of learning and be in grade 12 again, or what must I do?
Well, thank you very much. Education, education, education. Some qualifications expire. That's news to me. It's the first time I'm hearing a thing like that. Because I have old qualifications and I hope they don't expire. Firstly, you are claiming to be very intelligent and competitive, but instead of hanging in when going gets rough, you discontinue. So what kind of a toughness is that? Situation becomes tough, toughers would hang in, they say. But you are dropping out when the going gets a little bit tougher. So changing the institutions and just trying to look for another one doesn't solve the problem. You must be determined to finish your task, even if things are very difficult. So really my advice to you is, first you are talking about things I don't quite understand. One, you are saying that the qualifications expired. When they converted symbols to points and so on, you have 26 points. And they don't consider your years in which you pass. I don't think that's how it works. Otherwise, those of us who are old will not have any qualifications because they would have expired by now. Although, of course, we keep on refreshing our memories and so on. But you are just like a person who is not serious, if I can give you my honest opinion. What I will tell you is, as an intelligent person, enroll in an institution, stay and finish it. Then thereafter you will have new qualifications combined with the old ones, and you can go and look around for a job. But my dear, unemployment question is a problem, a real problem for all of us. It's not only you, there are many others who have new qualifications but who are still also complaining about not having jobs. So it's a situation we are dealing with, a difficult one, but first finish your studies in an institution. You are always better off by having qualifications. In the future, today you may not be hired, but people are going to look for qualified people with diplomas. So it's always good to tool yourself with the latest. Tool yourself, arm yourself, so that you have that education. At least you are better off than a person who doesn't have anything. So thank you very much.
So we'll leave question 2 out, I think. And we go on to question 3.
Oh, yeah, that's, yeah, okay, so go to 3.
It's about
yeah, it's UNITA, yeah.
From a listener in Divundu. I salute you, Honourable Prime Minister, for a job well done since your appointment to this office with the highest responsibilities. You are the best and can be compared to any world leader of this age. Dear Prime Minister, just one query that has been hindering for me for so long. I am one of the temporary teachers. At the end of every year, as you are aware, our duties terminate and we must reapply. The problem is this. When school reopens for the next year, in most cases, we're advised to report to our different places of duty while waiting for reappointment letters. This year it happened the same. We reported for duties on the 7th of January 1999 and have been working the whole month up to now. But surprisingly, when our permanently appointed colleagues received their salaries for January, our names were nowhere to be found on the payroll. And we have told that we shall only get salaries in April, backdated to the 15th of February. Now, Prime Minister, what happened to the days when we performed our duties? I, for one, enrolled for the BETD in-service training last year and was just about to enter my second year. During the December 1998 contract session, we were told that we would not be affected by downsizing and should not fear that our studies would be ceased in the middle of progress. Our particulars were submitted in time to the educational authorities, but to my surprise, my name did not appear on the payroll. You only know about your fate on the day of the salary payout. Our government is encouraging teachers to upgrade their studies for job security and more so, as I believe, for personal growth. How are we to achieve if we are treated in this way? Dear Prime Minister, an explanation, please. Our families have affected our work and our image has been severely affected by this type of treatment. I directed this query to you because our director in the Caprivi region doesn't respond to individual letters.
Well, thank you very much, first for the sentiments expressed about me. I'm just trying my best with your encouragement. I'm flattered by what you have said, so thank you very much. Secondly, I'm disappointed that the Director of Education in Caprivi region does not respond to individual letters. I think that will be brought to the attention of the ministry because I am on record that people should respond to letters, definitely, individual letters included. So I'm disappointed about that. Your problem is also a perennial one. We are definitely aware that there are categories of teachers. Some are unqualified teachers, those who were my colleagues during the 60s. I still see some of them. We used to qualify to be a teacher by having 6 plus 3 years teacher training diploma. Some after JC, so some of us have done, and then you are a teacher. Now with these modern times, really, the ministry, the government is therefore saying you cannot just be dropped, but improve on your qualifications. We are same age. Some of us have improved on our qualifications. So it's not a question of age. You will never get old to learn. So improve on it. There's nothing wrong with the ministry's directives in that regard. So those who do not study and improve are terminated after 1 year. Finish. They'll be pensioned and they go. Those who are temporary are the ones you who have tried to improve. And as long as you are making progress, you will be kept. If you don't make it, there are others from university, from teachers' education colleges who are qualifying. They cannot sit with their qualifications while you are sitting blocking their places without having qualifications. So the system is very, very fair. It says improve. When you are making progress, you are not going to be touched. If you are not making progress, there is somebody else sitting with diplomas, full of them, new ideas. Let's get that person to take over your place. So therefore, temporary teachers have to improve. If they don't, they're not going to get it. Now, technical, administrative thing you are asking me about, you started on this day and you are going to, that's administrative. The question you are asking me, you should have asked your administrative officer. It's so basic. Huh? Whether 3 days are not paid and so on. Now you want the Prime Minister to explain? No. Let's, as teachers, make a little bit good preparation. That questions we are asking, we can know what do I ask to Prime Minister, what do I ask to my principal, what do I ask to my administrative clerk. That's what this means. You just go to them and ask them. And any newcomer in an office, when I was hired at the UN, I was not paid for 3 months. Doesn't mean you're not being paid. You don't get your check. But you're going to get a back pay from the day you started. So these are really so basic issues that you are raising with your Prime Minister, whom you respect so much, who is about to be best in the world in this age. So don't ask him questions like that. You are nullifying what you are praising him to be. But my dear, with that kind of a tough thing, I'm just trying to say I understand your position. you must try to improve. If you improve on it, and I will give you encouragement. I am studying as I'm sitting here. That must be an encouragement. So go and study. If you are making progress, you are not going to be touched. If you fail, you are going to be touched. Simple as that. You understand that. You fail students too when they are failing. If you are a good teacher, you don't pass them when they are failing. So same thing is happening to you. If you are going to do well, you will be kept. Thank you. Keep it up.
Question number 4 from a listener in Windhoek. Honourable Prime Minister, I thank you for your dedication to share views with us residents. I'm a civil servant residing in Karatura and wish the Honourable Prime Minister to tackle my question in detail, since you are the father of all the ministries in the Republic of Namibia. My Honourable Prime Minister, I had in different countries for a long time, I've been in different countries for a long time, and I've seen the President's Guard members in those states regarded very specially. Coming back to our country, I always see members of the Presidential Guard, especially those who use the uniforms, are not really regarded as members, even guarding the first President of the Republic of Namibia. Honourable Prime Minister, the question is, why are these guards all the time hiking in public transport when going for work and when coming back, especially those living out members? If I can differentiate, it is only members of the Presidential Guard from Cederhof Base who are not picked up by NDF transports, while members of the other NDF units have special transport. Why not the Presidential Guard members have transport made available to them? I thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, thank you very much. I have also been in many places like you and have seen different treatment for different people. But I don't understand the problems that are always raised about Presidential Guard. These are issues you can take up with the men in charge of that, because I am not in charge of the Guard. These people fall under defense, and they are assigned to State House. So State House is its own administrative structures set up, and I think, and I don't interfere with that. So it could be good that this is raised at such a delegate, at that level. Being a delegate issue, you are saying it's the first President of the Republic of Namibia. So why don't you just raise it with those whom you know, they are your colleagues, with them, and you will get the answer. I don't see how defense members, because they are from Defense Ministry, their payroll is of Defense Ministry, they cannot get transport from defense cars. People who come from State House, they're driving State House cars. There are many there. So I don't just understand that they will not be picked up by the military transport people at the State House who are very powerful, feared by everybody, which I don't like, because I don't think we should be feared. We should be respected. But if people are going to fear us, that's not good. But what I'm saying is that they have a very high profile. And if they are hiking, I think that's very serious. So I know that they are from defense, and therefore they will use defense transport. So I will ask the persons there if you are from there, I know. I don't know why you didn't ask this question. You always come to me with these kind of questions, whereas you know where you can go with this. So I will ask on your behalf, because I don't seem to understand what is going on. So I will ask the questions.
I will be pleased if my questions will be answered.
Well, thank you very much, but I don't know what to answer. Because the first question, you are a worried person about Kasikili, and you are asking question 1, what is going to happen if Namibia will secure the island? We'll keep it. Number 2, what will be the position of Myongo, who wanted, he's in Botswana. He's a refugee in Botswana. So that will happen to him. If he wants to fight us, we'll fight him. So I don't know what you want me to answer. You see, are only Myongo's people the only government? Nobody says that. We are very clear on that. We said that we shouldn't first generalize about Myongo's people or so on. Myongo doesn't own anybody also. So he misled some people who are now getting wiser. So this is a straightforward question that Caprivians are Namibians, and therefore are treated as any other Namibians. So the question is really I don't know what you have. Maybe you have hidden motives to this question. But those are my answers, straightforward answers. Thank you.
Question 6 from a listener in Kavango. To my lovely Prime Minister. First, I'm asking God to bless you, to give you more spirit in your work. My lovely Prime Minister, can you turn your eyes on me?
Oh la la.
Honourable Prime Minister, I am crying, and who's going to solve my problem? I was finishing grade 12 in 1997, and I was struggling to get money to pay for school and to pay for my young brother. This year I'm getting very tough to get food and to pay for my brother to school. Now I'm unemployed, with no money to pay for school. My father and mother passed away in 1995. What can I do to get my brother to school? Honourable Prime Minister, please help me so that my younger brother can finish grade 12 and go for further study. Now I have a credit of $250, and that was taken to pay for the brother in his first term. Now I struggle to get that money.
Well, thank you very much. I am very much flattered, It's my lovely Prime Minister. Can you turn your eyes on me? I hope it's not a lady who is writing this, because it's really too much, and I am very much touched. I hope Tyson, this person, gave the name and address. I would definitely like to help. It's a very moving letter, and they are only looking for 250, kind of a thing like that. And really, I would like you to tell them to be in touch with me. I would definitely like to help in this case, because it's not because of nice things he has said or he has said about me, but definitely it looks like an honest person who wants to send a brother to school, and I would like to help. So if we can get a connection, I will appreciate that. Thank you. Of course, as I'm saying, I would like to help, but it sounds like the letter I had before from the same region. And I have made inquiries about our education system, and I am told, as I had said that time, that nobody is supposed to be denied to go to school if you don't have money to pay. Because education in this country is free. Education at that level where you are is free. Schools are asking school fees. That is a fee that the school is asking. For tuition, the books at government schools are free, and therefore nobody is, that's an instruction from the ministry, nobody must be stopped from taking their seat because they don't have money. So I have already said that, but if you have some problem further, come get in touch with me. I said, you didn't get in touch with me personally. So there's something funny about it. If you are the same person, if you are not the same person, please, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. But get in touch with me and explain why this person is a problem in a government school. Because education is free.
How can any human being live and survive with so little?
Well, thank you very much. I know you must be coming from the old order, because I know many people call me minister. They never had prime minister before, so you are excused for that, for downgrading me. I'm a little bit down now. So when you hear my voice down, you must understand why. Yes, thank you very much. Price control is a system that is antagonistic to what we are trying to follow as supposed to be market-driven economies. Price control used to be exercised in many countries, in socialistic-oriented countries, and it is a taboo when it comes to the Bretton Woods institutions like the World Bank and IMF. But I agree with you completely. The system is, as it is now, ripping off all the consumers. There is no consumer protection. But instead of government, because some of you people who are educated as you sound, want government to be out of business, not to regulate too much, to concentrate on core activities. But when your stomachs are touched, you want the government's intervention at all levels. So I think let's make up our minds that the Consumer Protection Agency can be set up by the consumers themselves, to start to point out these things. Ralph Nader was a guy in America who was a consumer activist. He became so powerful, but started just to deal with consumer protection. And today he is the kingpin. And these things are now happening. He points out exploitation or ripping off of the consumers, highly respected. And if you will say your thing is not good, your radio or so on is overpriced and so on, you are in trouble. You will not sell it. That's how people can build up credibility. And what they say is taken as truth. So it's not always laws that can regulate especially social behavior, as I keep on saying. It's a question of how people react to that in practical terms. Either by not buying the things, you're going to feel pinch as a seller, or refusing through the agency like Consumer Protection Agency that you can set up yourself, and pointing out certain shops, earmarking them, blacklisting or whitelisting them, saying that this shop is ripping off, overpricing and so on. They will be careful. So I agree, I share your concern that the prices are just too much. When wages are increased, the prices go up. So it will just offset that increment. And so we are telling labor colleagues sometimes that it's not always good to just ask for wage increase, but maybe to also think of benefits. Because wage increase is just being eaten up by the shops increasing their prices. So what little increment you got is out again. Doesn't bring any change. Yes. As for the last point, I have full sympathy with you. I was just talking yesterday to the mayor of Windhoek, where I was saying we can do something for the pensioners. We can have a lower bus fare for them. We can reduce the electricity and water bills, so it's in the same line as you are proposing. I don't know when the tax question is a difficult one because of the law, tax law, but it could be amended. But if you can give them breaks in basic essentials, like the question of the buses, the electricity, the water, because when people purchase, and I go around the old people's homes, you see many people sitting with whiskey bottles. Many people drunk who are old. So if you're going to buy whiskey to get a tax rebate on that one, I don't think it's fair. Definitely. So yes, it's a difficult one to consider, but your reasoning is quite fair and I support it. But it's a question for us to find answer to it. While we are on this HAA pensioners, it's a very difficult issue. There's a debate now in the parliament, but I think we are just politicking. I'm going to propose in the parliament today that those of us who are so concerned about these people, why don't we propose in the parliament to take 1 or 2% of our salaries and say, because I'm so concerned, that I'm so worried for my parents who are suffering, and that I'm fortunate I'm in the parliament, that I propose that all of us who are parliamentarians at least contribute 1% or 2% of our salaries to pensioners. Then we are talking. And I'm going to propose that in the parliament and see how many of people really who are talking about it are so genuine about it. We are also confusing the matter about pension. Pension is contributory. If you are working, some amount is deducted from your money, and your employer adds or is matching that deduction, and that eventually becomes your pension plus interest, of course. So here we are talking about a social welfare system where older people, whether they were working in the past or not, especially mostly blacks, who didn't have pensionable works, who don't have pension, are now being given this allowance, as small as it is. I agree it's small, but they are getting it at least without contributing towards it. So I'm not nullifying that it is small, it's small. But we were also trying to do a research before we were trying to increase the amount. That not all people were unemployed. Some old people must have been working, especially the white ones, the coloreds, and therefore must be having pensions from their previous work. If we can identify that, and therefore avoid them drawing two salaries or two benefits, then we can maybe increase the other one. But there was no cooperation. It was just difficult to find out who was working and so on. So it should also be fair. It would be unfair if some people who were working and therefore has pensions are now drawing the social pension and the regular pension from their former employment. So these are not easy things, but I agree with it. We should do something about the fate and suffering of our fathers and mothers. Thank you.
Question 8 from a listener in Nkulunkulu. First, I would like to thank you for being Prime Minister of this country and to respond to the people's problems. May God bless you and your whole family. Dear Prime Minister, I am not happy concerning what is happening in our region, Kavango. I don't know why businessmen used to kill other people. I am writing this letter because one man was killed at Mukekete village, cutting off his ears, nose and sex organs, etc. His dead body was thrown in Angola so that the people in Namibia will think that this was done by Angolans. This village is close to Nankundu Hospital. This is happening mostly in the Kavango region, in the north of the country. Each year we face the same problem in the region. They do this to attract as many customers as possible to come and buy at their shops.
That makes sense.
Understand it. Also, this has been happening for a long time, but nothing was done. Let us not increase the rate of criminals.
Well, thank you very much. It's such a sad story. We really have lately very sad things happening in our country, and we should stamp it out. I was very much annoyed to hear about the German tourists who was just cold-bloodedly killed, and I'm glad that one of the culprits was already apprehended. So these kind of things are disappointing to me. Really, I don't sleep well when I'm hearing about killings, senseless killings. But your story doesn't add up. They are killing to attract more people to their shops. It doesn't make sense. You kill me, I run away from your shop. So there's something wrong. But it's such a gruesome story you are telling us, and that's a police case. It must be reported to the police, and police must take action. If the police don't do their job, they must be removed also. Because the crime rate, the senseless crimes, the brutal crimes are really frightening me. And they are in an increase. Senseless killings of people. Also by cars. Other 3 German tourists were killed coming from the airport because of reckless driving of our people. These are senseless things. And I think we must address them. And it's mostly police who are doing an excellent job in many cases, I must say that. They have already apprehended this person who killed the German tourist. So we should also give them credit. But they can only be successful with our cooperation. They asked people to cooperate, and they cooperated. They arrested this person already. So let's cooperate with the police, give them information, they will do their job. And we must wipe out this kind of criminal activities. Thank you very much.
Okay, question 9 we leave out. So we go to question 10 from a listener in Windhoek. I'm a government bursary holder student who will graduate with an ND accounting from the Polytechnic of Namibia, March 1999. My concern is that so far I have no job, but there was a chance to be employed by the private sector. I forfeited that chance because of my government bursary holder status, i.e. the private sector does not want to employ me. The reasons given are as follows. The government used to ask such employers, private sector, to pay to the government a certain amount of money, lump sum, for their bursary holders to work for the private sector. The government used to impose a levy, a monthly deduction from the employee, government bursary holders, that will result in the employee quitting the job. Now, what can we do to be employed and where, as the government does not offer me a job? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. This is a straightforward case, especially for people who are bursary holders. This is logically the proper thing to do. If you have bursary, agreement is that you are supposed to pay back. So if you are going to work in the private sector, it's not the private sector who is asked to pay. It's you to pay from your salary. Straightforward. I don't think there's any complication about this. So definitely, if you are going to work in the private sector, not honoring your bursary problem, because government doesn't have jobs too. So you go to private sector. You are earning money from there, you pay back your bursary. What's the problem? So I think we must try to use our brains too. Thank you very much.
Watching classes, we are begging you to help us in this matter.
Well, thank you very much for your comments, sentiments about me, and also belatedly Happy New Year to you. Well, this is just a criminal action by a principal. I think he should be brought to book. I think the policeman that can arrest, or policewoman that can arrest him, is the Ministry of Education, because definitely they have directors in that area to see to it that these kind of things don't happen. They have school inspectors who are supposed to discover this kind of a thing. So I'm telling you, I'll bring this to the attention of the ministry concerned, and something must be done. I wouldn't like you to stop sending your kids to the school. You will regret it later on. But let's just do away with this very, very bad principal who doesn't deserve to be called principal. Let's remove him, and so that you can send your kids to school, because the future of your kid is in the classroom. Thank you very much.
I just noticed something in the last paragraph. She did mention that again, unfortunately.
Yes. Okay, you said that you tried to inform the inspector. My dear colleagues and my dear countrymen, these crimes are becoming too many. Unless we can risk our own trying to hide who we are not going to wipe out this disease. Let's stand up, risk maybe our future, but let's reveal our names, let's say who this teacher is, the principal is, and these inspectors whom you wrote to must also be exposed. Because inspector, now whom do I prosecute? It's very difficult. But these people who are just ignoring letters, I think, must be reported to the director of education of the region, or if he fails, to the minister. If the minister fails, to the prime minister, because really it's getting out of hand. So I know that I said you must report to the director of an inspector, but apparently I ignored the letters. So I will again also pass this letter on to the ministry to tell them your people aren't doing their job. They're ignoring letters of the people. So thank you very much. It's a sad story, but we'll follow it up.
Final letter from listener in Windhoek. Mr. Honourable Prime Minister, I wish you good health. Have a wonderful year. May God bless you in your wonderful work to serve the Namibian nation. First, I'm a youth who finished my grade 12 and ended up on the street looking for a job. I know there are a lot of unemployed young people like me on the street corners hoping to get a job. The situation is worsening by the day, and unemployment is on the increase. I think some government ministries are running out of ideas in solving this problem, but let me give you some ideas. What about making a big agricultural farm available where youth, honest citizen?
Well, thank you very much, patriot and an honest citizen. Thank you for your...
Sorry.